Assalamualaikum. Today we're gonna be presenting our mini project for ECE 128, which for CGPA and GPA calculator. First, let me introduce my team member. My name is Muhammad Nazim Anwar bin Ibrahim, and my teammate is Amar Bashir bin Zawawi and Muhammad Harith bin Abdul Ghani. Introduction. What is CGPA and GPA? Computer programming is defined as the process of creating computer software using programming language. A computer is step-by-step process which requires computer to solve in logical sequence in order to carry out particular action. CGPA stands for Cumulative Grade Point Average. It indicates the overall academic performance of a student, while GPA is a term that we have all been hearing since secondary school, which stands for Grade Point Average. It refers to student score on average. Next is our objective. Objectives of this our mini project is to understand the program by student to calculate CGPA and GPA. Secondly, is to make a proper coding and flowchart about GPA and CGPA calculator. Third is to make students easier to calculate their GPA and CGPA through the online system without a need to take the pointer at university. Last but not least, is to understand how CGPA and GPA calculator works.
Now for the flowchart of the CGPA and GPA. Firstly, we start and user need to choose alphabet C for CGPA or G for GPA. If the input is C, the display will produce statement CGPA calculator. Secondly, user need to enter the number of semesters. Then user also need to enter the number of course, the grade, and credit hours for course. The system will calculate the cumulative grade points average. Finally, the system will display the result. If the CGPA below than 3.00, it will display good. If no, that means higher than 3.00, it will display excellent. For CGPA below than 3.00 and higher than 3.00 will go to function that name int calculator in bracket int close. Now, if the input is J, the display will produce statement GPA calculator. First, user need to enter the number of course. Then user also need to enter the grade and credit hours for course. Then the system will calculate the grade point average. Finally, the system will display the GPA result. If the GPA below than 3.00, it will display good. If no, that means higher than 3.00, it will display excellent. For both GPA, we'll go to function that name int calculator in bracket int close. The sample output for CGPA. We need to enter alphabet C and enter 2 for number of semesters and number of course for semester 1. For grade and credit hours for course 1 is 4 and 2. For course 2 is 3.75 and 2. Then also 2 for number of course for semester 2 and the grade and credit hours for course 1 is 4 and 2. Lastly, grade and credit hours for course 2 is 4 and 2. Then the result is 3.94, an excellent statement because the result higher than 3.00. For the GPA, user need to enter alphabet G and enter 2 for number of course. For grade and credit hours, for course 1 is 3 and 2. The grade and credit hour for course 2 is 2 and 2. Finally, the GPA result is 2.50, and good statement because the result below than 3.00.
For discussion, people, especially students, can check their own result for cumulative or per semester. Everyone will get the experience to use the CGPA and GPA calculator. And now how it works. Everyone can know how CGPA and GPA calculator works. This calculator can be used wherever we are, just need a phone and internet. For conclusion, this CGPA and GPA calculator can help students know their target to get better academic results. For example, for FLET. The most obvious benefit is that CGPA and GPA calculator can help students get into the college of their choice. This can make the student easier to find which college is better suited for them. This calculator also gives the correct calculation of students' CGPA and GPA result, which can help them to strive harder for better result. This can help not only Malaysia students but worldwide students in order to calculate their own CGPA or GPA. Next, we go to sample of input. This is our sample of input for our programming. We use all of elements for our programming. We can look at int calculator close. Its function prototype. Next is float star pointer and its pointer. Besides that, we also use switch case, and that is selective statement. And we also use if else. If else, we can call it repetitive statement. We also use array. Cha are good. Cha is excellent. And for calculator close I, it's called uh, function call. For the last is in calculator close. Thank you for using CGPA and GPA calculator. It's called function definition. And that's all from our group. Thank you for watching.